Hi, this is Social Nerd, communication skills and leadership training for data science, software development, and other tech professionals. I am Sergey, and the topic for today is how to have a successful internship at a tech startup. So, you've landed an internship at a tech startup. How do you now make it a success? Let's start from a definition. What does it mean for an internship to be successful? There can be only one definition, and that is whether you get a full-time offer at the end. Some people would disagree. They say, well, there is coronavirus, there is a recession, even if you do a good job, you may not be hired, which is true, but the definition does not change. It simply means that it may be more difficult to be successful in this environment than it was before, but the definition is still the same, and this video is to explain to you how to still maximize your chances at being successful. You don't even have to take this offer if you get it, but it's just a test. It's just proof that you did a good job, that people are willing to keep working with you and keep paying you money, and in many cases keep waiting until you graduate from school. So, how do you succeed and where do most people fail? First of all, when you come to a startup, here is what will likely happen. It will all be very chaotic, and somebody such as the CEO or another senior team member will tell you, hello dear intern, we are excited to have you on board. We have this cool technology which is Scala or MongoDB or blockchain that you know nothing about. Here is an amazing book, here are some tutorials. Why don't you start by learning, by reading, and try to get up to speed as quickly as possible? And here is what happens. The new intern starts reading and reading and reading and reading for days and even weeks. And that is not a way to have a successful internship at a tech startup. This comes from a school mindset. The intern thinks, my job is to learn, I'm an intern. If I read this book well, I will know more Scala. I can put this Scala on resume. I can put this blockchain on my resume, and it means I am accomplishing my goals. And that is not wrong, but it is wrong from the company's perspective. The company brings the intern on board not to learn, but to do something useful, to produce value. Therefore, as an intern, your focus should be to get to working on a real task as soon as humanly possible, after 1 week max, but as soon as you can. Second place where people usually fail is they actually get to a task and they start working on a task. Maybe they get this task on Monday, and by Wednesday they are done, and then they spend Thursday and Friday just again reading the book and prettifying their solution and just feeling that they overall made good progress and can relax a little bit. Usually it's not the case. A much better strategy is this. You get a task on Monday and say you are done by Wednesday, so you come back to whoever gave you the task and say, hey, you gave me the task, here it is done, what's next? And maybe the next task only takes you 1 day, so you come back on Thursday and say, this task is also done, what's next? And maybe you come back on Friday and you say, this task is also done, what's next? That should be your mantra. You gave me a task, it is done, what's next? Do not think that there is some particular pace that once you meet the space, you can relax and chill and not work so hard. What usually happens is that people will not remind you, people will not push you that you're not working quickly enough. They will just think, oh, this task should take 2 weeks, or it should take 1 week, but this intern spends 1 month. Or this task should take 1 day, but this intern spends 3 days. Maybe the intern is not very competent, maybe the intern is not very motivated. They will assume it's your fault or your weakness, and they will not tell you. The truth is, many CEOs and many people at startups don't know how to manage people effectively. They definitely don't know how to manage interns effectively or how to set you up for success. In this sense, the burden is on you. It's hard to tell, philosophically speaking, who has to do it, whose responsibility it is, but they will not help you to succeed. You have to succeed yourself. Third place where people usually fail is by taking too much of the company's time. Consider this. An experienced person from the company can probably produce 10 times more value per hour than you can. That means that if they spend 1 hour explaining some concept to you, you better produce 10 hours of value after this. And reading a book does not make it, because as we've just discussed, reading a book does not directly add value to the company. And if you are not fully clear on the project or on the company's goals, then you may not be adding as much value again, so you may need 20 or 30 hours per 1 hour of explanation you receive. That means that the time when you receive explanation is very precious and at a premium, and you have to use it thoughtfully to actually understand how to add value, to actually understand the project. Because if you ask too many questions, you start taking value from the company. It becomes a bad deal for it to have you on board. But if you ask too few questions, then you don't know what to do, and then again, you cannot create enough value. So that's the third secret to being successful. Let's recap. If you want to have a successful internship at a tech startup, which means you want to get an offer at the end, first, don't spend too much time reading books, try to get real tasks. Second, once you get a task, ask what's next, and then come back and say what's next again, and keep doing it all throughout. And third, be very careful with the time of the people explaining things to you. Ask them as many questions as needed, but not more. Those are the 3 tips. Let me know in comments below if there is something I have missed. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!